Hello, everyone. Today I would like to discuss a little bit a theme that I do like, and this is the differences between black magic and white magic. And to do this, I'm departing from science in a way. I'm getting close to an area that even many colleagues in the transpersonal world tend to avoid because it's considered sort of unscientific, because it's close to some to superstition and the like. And this is a theme of magic. Magic not as manipulation of delusion to present public shows, but magic as deliberate, intentional, conscious manipulation of psychic energy with purposes that are quite defined. Now, for this, I'm following the definition, the idea from Alice Bailey. I will be indeed close to some esoteric schools like the Theosophical Society or the Arcane School. The idea here is that we should not avoid the theme, because as many people working within the field of parapsychology, we have good reasons to know that some human beings can deliberately and consciously project energy and information at a distance. They can act on the physical and psychic world in ways that are sort of invisible and hard to explain to conventional physics, chemistry, biology, and the like. But I think this area is quite important. So first of all, what would be black magic? We all have this idea around sorcery, about manipulating psychic energy to damage other people, to manipulate their minds, to produce illness, and so on and so on. Then we have also like necromancy, when one would try to deliberately invoke and manipulate again and dominate the spirits of the dead to place them at our own service. But then, if we think in a different way, the main characteristic of black magic is the manipulation of psychic energy with egotistical, self-centered purposes. And then it's not just about deliberately hurting other people, it's about using psychic means to get advantages to ourselves personally. The typical point of departure for black magic is therefore mostly personal, mundane, self-centered. It's mostly our mind and our emotions trying to achieve something for ourselves or from some people in our close circle of affection. Now, this would be black magic, of course, with temptation sometimes of using hatred to project energy to hurt others, or temptations at manipulation, the affection from other people, so it benefits ourselves or some people we like. All of this is around. Some also will, of course, as is typically known in many movies and literature, try to make alliances and to invoke entities from lower levels, lower psychic levels, like demons or ghosts of all sorts, spirits, either human or non-human, to bargain with them so that we give them something and for an exchange, they give us something using their power. Very dangerous business, self-centered, short-minded, I would say. Now, the typical thing for white magic practitioners is that they always try to do it from a totally different point of view. They try to go beyond themselves, above themselves, deep within. They try to get close to their own soul. They try to get close to universal forces and to universal consciousness. They try, in a way, to allow a higher vision, a higher perception of good and love to guide them and to allow them to use psychic energy to the benefit of the collective, the world, not just the human world, but the animal world, the vegetable world, the land, the planet, and even something else, or something that might be a lot larger than that. The typical starting point for white magic is therefore supra-mundane, supra-personal, and its supra-mind. The typical practitioner will try to get into states of consciousness and perception that will place him or her above the typical mundane life, above self-interests and self-fear and desire, personal desire. They get into a different state, a love that is not personal love, is larger love, that is attuned to a collective good that tries to benefit all beings. So if we go for it, we try to be in sync with a much larger wisdom than our own, a much larger love than our emotional affections, something else, something that is deeper and that allows us to have a very peaceful inner consciousness, feeling that we are indeed attuned to, let's say, goodness at the global level. This means also that sometimes we'll be doing things that are apparently contrary to our egotistic desires, to our egotistic mind, and so on. And that's okay. That's what we find in several spiritual traditions about what saints do, what masters do, because as we might guess, they act from a vantage point that is no longer the egotistical personal self. It's something else. Yeah, beyond it, they forget about it, or they place it aside, or they use it as a simple vessel, a chalice to receive and to give away higher energies, a higher wisdom, higher powers. Therefore, they are on the side typically of the evolution of humanity and the evolution of whole kingdoms of nature. They are on the side of expansion of global consciousness. And they try to clean the air of our dense psychic atmosphere. Well, this is what I wanted to discuss today. As usual, if you like this, comment, subscribe the channel, help promoting it because it's not easy. And I'll be back soon.